The winner of that will go into the semi-finals. This then is Hawkins against Allen. It's the opening frame in this best-of-7 match. Commentary comes from Neil Folds and Clive Everton.
Very, very solid player, Barry Hawkins, who had, I thought, a bit of a rough spell in the second half of last season, leading up to the Crucible, where he played a bit better. It looked like for once he was maybe resenting a bit of the travelling. It was all getting on top of him. Pulled out of the Indian Open, didn't he, at the very last moment, having been in the draw. Just, I think he's a lovely guy, Barry. I'm just thinking for a short while there, he was, I don't know, in need of a break, maybe. I think he's hoping to be a bit more selective this season about what he plays and to keep himself fresh.
Seven.
Has to go away from the reds from this pink.
Barry Hawkins, 7.
And in attempting to pop the pink as slowly as possible, he didn't hit it quite hard enough.
Oh, he had a bit of side on that, and I wonder if the blue's covering the pink. It'd be a bit unlucky if it is. And also, I think, I don't suppose the blue will go in there very easily either. It might just pass. Goodness me. How's he not properly on either of those two? Looks like he's playing the blue. Wow, went in cleanly. That was a good shot. I still think about when these two played at the Crucible earlier in 2015, which was the 13-11 win for Barry Hawkins. I might not get the quote exactly right that Mark Allen said after that match, but it was along the lines of the difference between the two players was our coach. Barry was being coached by Terry Griffiths, and at the moment I'm unable to be coached by Terry. Terry was tied up with a different sponsor and a different manager. I thought it was a very interesting comment, and of course I think the world of Terry, and it's a very big compliment to his coaching skills. He said if roles are reversed and it was the Griff in his dressing room, he thought he would have won the match.
12.
This year, Terry is involved with Mark Allen again.
The role of the coach at this level is not so much technical, but saying the right things in the course of a match.
19. $20.
All his career, Mark Allen has been used to winning things.
26.
Won junior titles in Northern Ireland at every age group level. Then the Northern Ireland Amateur Championship.
27.
The World Under-21, the World Amateur. Couldn't have been much better prepared for a professional career. Currently 11th in the world rankings.
53. $39.
Well, he hasn't got centre ball striking on that red to the right corner. He's got to be considered a bit unlucky there. He's got this one that he's looking at. Very fast delivery of the cue from not a very long backswing. Mark Allen, very punchy cue action when it's working. He can look almost unstoppable at times. See someone like John Higgins with a very different way of hitting the ball. Slow, long backswing, smooth delivery through. And then you see Mark, who's
46.
It's all fast and furious, but he gets a lot of cue speed.
47.
.40 in front. Running out of easy reds though.
$54.
Well, it's been a tough break because the red has been by the black for just about all of it, so his control has been excellent. And there's just a bit more work to do. Needs another red after this colour. And it could be that he's landed in the prime
60.
position here. Because I think he just got enough of the red sticking out to pop this. Although he does need the extension on his cue, and he is stretching, so it isn't a certainty. This is a very good break.
61.
A very sharp start from Mark Allen, carrying on
67.
the fine form he showed in winning the Bulgarian Open last weekend.
$68.
With a different cannon, he would have been able to finish on an easier black than this, but what happens now is only of academic interest.
$75.
Well, this has been a fine break.
76.
And as we've been saying, he won in Bulgaria at the weekend, and he seems to be bringing this form here to Coventry.
$83.
But quite a few
84.
matches have started with centuries this week. I'm counting this to be at least the fourth.
91.
Because we saw Neil Robertson do it. We've seen Maguire do it. Steve Maguire earlier today.
93.
Ali Carter started beautifully with a 100 break in his match, so I think we're likely to see another one now. And this, I would say, is as good as anything that we've seen, given that when he came to the
96.
table, the black was not available. That's first class.
$105.
A flying start then for Mark Allen. A break of 105 puts him 1-0 up.
This then is Hawkins against Allen. It's the opening frame in this best of 7 match. Commentary comes from Neil Foulds and Clive Everton.
Allen looking at the possibility of a 3-ball plant, but it looks complicated. Or maybe he was just worried about leaving a red over the right corner.
That's a nice flick with the guaranteed position from there. I think he's actually the right side of this pink, so get down to the business end of the table immediately. Very unflappable. I don't think it'll concern him what he's just seen from Mark. And that really good century break. Very sound in temperament,
7.
Barry.
Eight. $15. $16.
Has he just crept the cue ball past the red?
It must be tight. Get a long look at it.
$23. $24. 31. Thirty-two. Thirty-seven.
He's got to get his cannon right. Yes, no problem at all. I would
38.
probably like to have developed a red or two there. I think the one that he did nudge into might pot. He's looking at that one now. Yeah, not from everywhere though, as you can see. You'd have to be a little low on it. Of course, he's got the other red here anyhow. This would have to be perfectly played. For that reason, I think he's playing on the red closest to us via the bunch. Good shot. I think he thought he had the one over the right corner pocket actually, which incidentally doesn't go. That was always his backup. This is an excellent start to the match from both players.
Forty-six.
He's got a very repetitive cue action. I know, sounds a bad thing, but trust me, it's a good thing. He has a little routine and not an awful lot changes in what he does, his rhythm and his 2 or 3 little practice swings like that.
53.
And of course he's been in a world final, world semi-final, which suggests his game will hold up over a period of time. That's what you have to have at the Crucible. He's just an extremely solid player.
60.
Hawkins has 2 world ranking titles to his name, the 2012 Australian Open and the 2014 Players' Championship.
$61. $68. $69.
The spectators who've done their arithmetic know that that was frame ball, barring snookers. And I don't think there will be much snookering
76.
in this frame.
77. $83. 84.
'That's a little short of speed actually.
89. 90.
still on course for back-to-back centuries. 105 from Allen in the opening frame.
95. 96.
'What a start. Altogether more, if you like, conventional century than the one that Mark made, because Mark never had a chance to get onto the black till late in the break.
104.
But it's very good the way he's taken them. Too many alarms along the way. Well, I mean, you look at all the matches and we've seen one or two pairings, you think, well, this is going to be a great game. This was one of them, but he wouldn't say it would be better than anything else, but the standard's clearly been a cut above anything else we've seen up until now. Back-to-back centuries says it all.
$116. 120. 125. 131.
Well, everything perfect except for the last black. The break of 131 brings Barry Hawkins level at 1-all.
Welcome back to the Group 2 match between Barry Hawkins and Mark Allen. They're all leveled through the opening 4 frames, and that all came about via the third, which saw Barry Hawkins dominate the table. His impressive break building kept Mark Allen in his seat and allowed Hawkins to take the lead. In the fourth, he faltered despite having built a healthy lead, allowing Allen to step in and level the match. This is now the fifth.
How good will Hawkins be, do you think, Neil, at forgetting the mistake which cost him the last frame?
I think he's got the temperament to just put it behind him. But and it's a short match, isn't it? Mate, you know, that could be the difference between winning and losing. I think he knows that. It's hard to forget. But I think he wouldn't have got to the level he has without putting a few things aside that can happen, because they happen in every match. Setbacks, don't they?
Well, you do learn to cope with certain things better through experience. We're only just past the hour mark and we've already had 4 and a bit frames.
I think Barry would have a lot of better chance on this red that he was looking at if the brown hadn't been there. And it's a real distraction. Probably the right thing, I believe, playing safe, refusing that red.
Yes, he would have been leaving at least one other red had he missed it.
Well, I don't think he really wants to play the red this time either, because he's now looking at something else. He got shaped up to play it once.
Well, took 40 seconds to decide on that. Thought that the contact on the second red would be thin enough to get the cue ball back into baulk in case he missed the red he was attempting, but of course you can't be sure where all the balls are going to finish when you're moving them like that.
Sure. 6. Seven. Eleven. Twelve.
Well, this time the pot didn't go in cleanly and the cue ball's drifted too far. Certainly for perfect position anyhow.
18.
Good to get pink back on its spot with the black tied up.
19.
No obvious reason why you shouldn't be able to pick these 4 loose reds off with pinks and make the frame his.
26.
We'll take him over the line, I think, just about. 67 would be left on with 5 more reds left, and he'll be up there. And the match is turned around again because Mark made a terrific century in the first frame, and then it was all Barry Hawkins after that.
32.
Until he missed that crucial black to get on to the yellow. He only wanted the black. 3-1 was absolutely nailed on, it seemed.
33.
But it's a further twist.
I think we could be identifying that Hawkins error as the turning point of the match.
39.
Of course, there's still time for the match to turn again.
40.
But Alan is heading strongly towards a 3-2 lead now.
Six. 47.
Well, this will mean that Barry could only tie the frame, but there is a red that he can drop in behind. Lots of stops, must have been a kick.
Yeah, sure.
Can only think of that as a left-hander he can reach
53.
this, but it's incredibly thin now. He's almost there, but not quite.
Yes, the kick clearly seen on the replay.
Mark Allen, 53.
And with the cue ball stopping short, it made the red difficult enough to miss. Hawkins will bear in mind, though, that it's 5 reds, 5 blacks, and all the colours to tie. So that's why he didn't even think about potting the red to right corner.
Now what Barry really needs to do somehow is get that black open. He might play the right-hand red here and take a gamble.
Still 67 behind, with only 67 on.
He didn't want the red in, that's for sure. And I think it's covered by the brown, the potting angle, anyhow.
Well, here's the frame clinching chance.
One. Seven.
Oh, that's a good shot.
8.
So Alan back in front. Got a bit slow towards the end of this frame, only because Barry was fighting on, hoping to get some sort of a chance. Generally speaking,
10.
the stand has remained high throughout.
Mark Allen, 10.
Mark Allen
Frame.
in the last frame was on the verge of going 3-1 down, but now he's 3-2 up, 1 up with 2 to play.
Welcome back to this Group 2 match between Barry Hawkins and Mark Allen. There's little to choose between these two after 5 frames. Allen ahead by 1 and crucially just 1 away from a place in the next round.
Played it dead weight, and for good reason. If he's on that bottom red there,
6.
he is.
Seven. Fourteen.
Oh, this is
15.
a real tester if he plays the black. As difficult a shot as you'll see, I think. This end of the table. He kind of feels forced into it. The other red's covering the bulk colours. Big shot. Very good. Really well struck.
It wouldn't surprise me if Allen, having knocked that in, goes on to clinch the match at this
23.
visit. There are plenty of open reds.
$28. 29. 35. 36.
Well, he was very straight on the blue, so that's really no way he could get any nearer
41.
to this red than where he is.
This is looking ominous for Hawkins, though.
Yeah, and if he does lose, he'll know exactly which shot cost him. Turn the match on his head. The black that he missed, not dissimilar to the one that Mark Allen's just knocked in, possibly even easier than that. Choice between potting it 28 in front of the yellow or playing up behind the yellow, which was played a bit more firmly, and took the latter, missed it. Never been in the match since. Could still be another twist, but it's in Mark's hands now.
Well,
Mark Allen, 49.
position was quite difficult to control off such a thin potting angle, but I certainly didn't expect him to miss it.
Yeah, he didn't know how to play it, did he? Didn't know what to do with it. It was a little
One.
sort of soft screw that he was looking for in the end. That little bit of pressure in the armour, no doubt.
So hope has sprung anew for Hawkins.
5.
He would have been fearing the worst.
Six.
Looks a bit on the straight side to do much positionally.
No, he's on the other red. Thought he looked at one of the three that were close together. And that was always going to be a much tougher one. He never wobbled it.
Barry Hawkins, 13.
Very quickly out of his chair, Mark Allen, knowing that the comeback didn't quite take place. Well, this is actually not an easy shot that Mark's faced with here. think he can just get to it. Missable. Well, he's not missed it, and he's finished on the pink, and that really could be the match now. They'll go 42 points in front when this is potted. The red's available to the middle.
Six. Seven. Shit.
Well, he's not got the perfect angle here. Might have just done across, once across and back for the two reds into the same pocket as the pink. There wasn't so much a stun shot, actually, just a run through.
$13. $14.
So that surely is going to be it. This match started
21.
with an exchange of centuries. 105
22.
by Allen, 131 by Hawkins. Hawkins led 2-1 and seemed certain to go 3-1 up, but missed the black from the last red that would have left
28.
Allen needing a snooker. Allen levelled the match at 2-all.
29.
Hawkins potted only one red in the next frame, and Allen has also dominated this frame.
34. Mark Allen, 34.
And that was how Mark Allen beat Barry Hawkins by 4 frames to 2 to qualify for this evening's group final.